Hello everyone, welcome to this video. Thank you very much for clicking on it. I really appreciate it. It's starting! Dreamcatcher comeback season is upon us. They've obviously been dropping teaser images over on Twitter for all of the different concepts. My god, they all look incredible. I'm in love with this concept already and it's barely even begun. But they have dropped the lyric spoiler for MAISON, the title track, and we're gonna check it out. I actually wasn't gonna do a reaction to this one. I plan to do reactions to like the highlight medley, which I think is tomorrow, and the MV teaser, which I think is later this week, and blah blah blah. But I didn't plan to react to this, and then I was like, you know what? I wanna, so we're gonna. I'm assuming the lyrics are gonna be in Korean, but I'm fairly confident. Yeah, someone on Twitter has translated it already, so we're gonna react to this, and whatever sound situation we're gonna check that out, and then I'll look at the translation of the lyrics and deal with all of that stuff. But yeah, Dreamcatcher are coming back, guys. I mean, listen, listen, if you know me, if you've been here, then you know Dreamcatcher are my number one ultimate group of all groups. Love them so much. Don't get me wrong, Promise 9 have been coming for me in a really, really big way, but Dreamcatcher is still number one. They're holding on, and I'm so excited for this comeback. Second full album, baby. We got solo songs from all the members. It's gonna be magical. It's gonna be an absolutely magical time, and I cannot wait. But let us get into this lyric spoiler and see what's going on. Let's do this. Whew. Okay. 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 I'm so excited. Okay, Dreamcatcher, MAISON, lyric spoiler. You already know I'm gonna listen to this and watch this 100 times. Let's do it. 3, 2, 1, go. Whoa! Whoa, that drop. Ooh. There's two things that this instrumental could be. Obviously, it could be instrumental for MAISON itself. Makes sense, it's a lyric spoiler for MAISON, blah, blah, blah. But I also wouldn't put it past them for this to be the instrumental for the intro. Both seem plausible. I'm sure we'll find out, probably by the time we have the highlight medley tomorrow, but either way, that sounds cool as shit. One more time. Something about that sound, that opening sound, that feels so Dreamcatcher. Especially like these more recent comebacks, like it just immediately reminds me of the start of Boca, you know? Like, I don't know, it's just one of those sounds that just, yeah, that's a Dreamcatcher kind of sound. But these keys! Oh, that sounds so good. I want it to continue so bad. But like, I mean, that's a good teaser. That is a good teaser. All right, let me look at the translation real quick. Oh shit, okay. It's all coloured by the strong wind. Let's turn it back to the moment when all the seasons were clear. My tears are falling down already submerged eyes. Oof. Oh. This is gonna be a lot. This is gonna be a very a lot comeback. I mean, it always is with Dreamcatcher, but oh, again. Ah! Oh, that sounds so good! Oh, that sounds so good! That sounds so good! I can't get over these keys. This piano sounds amazing. It sounds like a sample of something, but I can't think of what. Like, it sounds like a sample from, like, a classical piece, but I don't know if it's just reminding me of something, or if it actually is. If anyone knows, tell me, but it has that very dramatic, classical feeling of the piano. I'm obsessed with it. And then, like, that paired with these the sound effects in the background, and this roiling rhythmic sound in the background, like, it sounds like a storm brewing in the background, you know? It's so intense. Oh, I love the echo on those drums as well. That drum fill. That drum fill is so nice. If you know me, then you know I love a good drum fill, and that's a real nice little drum fill. I accidentally clicked away from the video, but it's fine. That drop is amazing. Oh my god, it just feels so Dreamcatcher. Oh. You know what I love about their sound so much is, like, their sound has gone through quite the evolution, like quite a big evolution. Like, we obviously started with Chase Me and Goodnight. It's a very, like, much more leaning into the rock and the metal influences, right? But then as we've moved through, and I think it really kickstarted with You and I, but, like, as we've moved through, and especially as we've gone through the Dystopia trilogy and all of that, like, they've started bringing in these far more, like, EDM elements. But what I love is that they still have this, like, this root, this core that is just Dreamcatcher's sound. And you can't really put your finger on exactly what it is, but there's just something that's just, like, you hear it and you're like, that's a Dreamcatcher title track. Like, it is. And it's so cool. And I feel like this drop is such an excellent example. Actually, this whole teaser is such an excellent example of it, because, like, you have these new elements that we haven't really heard in a Dreamcatcher title track. Like, this piano is something that we haven't heard in a Dreamcatcher title, assuming this is the instrumental for the title. Like, this isn't something that we've really heard a lot of. But that drop is just so Dreamcatcher, and it makes me indescribably happy. It hits so good. Oh, the guitars sound so good. But also the way this builds up. Like, one, I love the with the keys, but then also having these far more electronic kind of sounds, like with this riser, and the it's like pad drums as well. And that, like, oh, it just sounds so cool. God, I can't wait to hear the full thing. Regardless of whether it is, like, the intro or MAISON itself, I cannot wait to hear the full thing, because that sounds incredible. I know technically this is the lyric spoiler and I should probably be talking about the lyrics more, but I mean, listen, we know I am more into looking into instrumentals and production than I am looking into lyrics in most cases, but even so, I mean, these lyrics are quite something. We know that this whole concept is revolving around climate change and you know, the problems that the world is facing. And it looks like they're going to be tackling it from a point of either on the cusp of it being too late to fix anything, or like from beyond that point, from that point where we've reached this like apocalyptic situation, right? And you just look at, it's like that lyric, let's turn it back to the moment when all seasons were clear. Like, that's such a great lyric, because like something, I guess it depends on where you are in the world, but especially in certain places, and I think I could say for here in the UK, like, you know, if I think back to my childhood, there was much more like a clear divide between the seasons. Like, you know, back when we still got snow in winter, I know there are still some places in the UK that get snow during winter, but like not where I am. Like that, we haven't had proper snow in the southwest of England for a really long time. But we used to. When I was a kid, we used to get like actual snow. It was great. But we don't get that anymore. We don't get that anymore. And then, you know, you go into the summer and it's like, yeah, it's warmer. But one, it gets way hotter than it should for this part of the world. And two, it's so flip-floppy and all over the place. And sometimes it's god-awful freezing and torrential rain. And it's just... yeah, climate change is real shit. And I just think that lyric is really cool. Turn it back to the moment when all seasons were clear. Like, yeah, I imagine there's a lot of people, like, especially, you know, my generation and prior, that remembers when seasons were seasons. Seasons were seasons, and it wasn't just this, well, what weather are we gonna get today? I don't know. Like, it's and this is obviously coming from a point of view where, like, the weather changes for me aren't massively dangerous. We do get more storms, and those are a lot, but they're, you know, weather-wise, I don't particularly live in a super dangerous part of the world. Flooding can sometimes get really bad, granted, and that can be detrimental to a lot of people, but in comparison to a lot of other places in the world, it's not nearly as extreme. You know, there are places that are seeing a huge increase in tornadoes. There are places that are seeing a huge increase in hurricanes, in snowstorms, like horrible, horrible blizzards, really dramatic flooding. Like, you know, it's just really cool that they're tackling this, basically, is what I'm trying to say. It's very, very cool that they're tackling this in a comeback, or in a series, because at least, you know, it seems like we are starting a whole new chapter. I don't know if it's going to be a 3-part thing like the Dystopia series was, or whatever, but it's awesome. I mean, they always have. They've always tackled very specific and important topics, but this one in particular feels very rarely touched on, but very necessary to touch on for artists, because artists have... I'm not saying that every artist needs to, you know, go out of their way to talk on issues of the world, but it helps when they do, because a far wider percentage of the population will pay attention to artists and what artists are doing and what they're saying and the messages that they're giving out than they will to scientists or politicians and people whose worlds are not easily accessible and whose language isn't as easily accessible as an artist's language. So whenever I see an artist take on subjects, whether it's in their art or just what they talk about, you know, be it through social media or whatever. I just think it's a really good thing for artists to do, and I appreciate the Dreamcatcher do it. And they do it so well. Basically, that's where I'm at with that. Let's listen to it again. Let's listen to it again. And this is the other thing that I love, right? Is they tackle these subjects. They don't do it in a way that that cheapens the music. You know, I feel like sometimes, you know, when people try to tackle certain topics, it makes the song kind of like, I guess, cheesy, or just not as, I don't know how to word this, but I won't say not as good, because that's not what I mean, but just doesn't hit quite the same, basically. But with Dreamcatcher, whenever they tackle topics like this, like, you know, you think of the entire Dystopia series, that was kind of all about talking about, especially like different forms of bullying. Like they were really tackling that, especially like cyberbullying and whatnot. But they were, you know, with Volker, they're talking about hurtful words and what they can do to people and all of that. But it's like, first and foremost, their number one priority is to make a damn good song and make amazing music. And then after that, it's to bring in this message, you know? And that's very, very cool, because it means we get incredible music that if you're not paying attention to it, or you just aren't interested in the lyrics or what they're talking about, you can just enjoy the song as it is. But then they have this added layer where if you dig a little bit deeper, you find these really amazing messages and things that they're talking about, and it's just, I don't know. I just love Dreamcatcher a lot. I didn't mean to make this a 17-minute video, but on brand, baby. Here we are. Yeah, I mean, it sounds amazing. It sounds amazing. Lyrically, looks very, very cool. We've gotten 4 lines, but it looks very, very cool regardless. And I cannot wait. I cannot wait. We're a week away. It feels like this wait for this comeback since it was announced has gone by incredibly quickly. But we're nearly there. We've got, like I said, I think we've got the highlight medley tomorrow. We have MV teaser later in the week. And then we'll have the dance preview, I think, on Monday. And then obviously the MV and the album drop on Tuesday. Fingers crossed the rest of the members stay clear of COVID. I know that both Sua and Yihyun have now been released from their quarantines, which is great. I hope everyone else remains safe and healthy, so that we can have a nice, good promotional period without any major upsets. That would be nice. That would be great. Just get it all out of the way now so that when the comeback happens, we're all good. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. I just hope that they remain healthy regardless. And we get to experience a really awesome comeback, because that looks like what it's shaping up to be. Anyway, I'm going to end this one here now. Like I said, this went on a lot longer than I intended, but that's my brand, so it's fine. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you tomorrow for the highlight medley, where I will probably make an even longer video than this and lose my mind even more. It'll be great. I'll see you guys then. Bye-bye.